What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Pretty much in this video here, I'll just be answering 21 questions. Thank you to everyone who sent in questions and just been having comments, concerns about how to go about this trading stuff, and even just about the journey so far. So, yeah, feel free to like and comment on this video here too, and to subscribe to the channel. I want to keep putting out more and more videos here, so just keep giving me ideas to just look forward to. So I appreciate you, and I hope you enjoy this video. Thank you. Cool. So first question is, when is the best time to trade? Um, so I'd say like the best time to trade is depending on really your schedule. Like, there's 4 different sessions. You have the London session, the Sydney session, New York session, Tokyo session. So it all depends on when is the best time for you to trade, and then just going from there and being able to like figure out a pair for yourself. So second question, well, how does one find the perfect currency pair for them? Uh, I'd say first, after recognizing the best like time for yourself to actually trade, that's when you then go into figuring out. I'd say that's when you really go into figuring out the pairs and the currencies that trade actually within that session. That'll actually be best because it's just following along with like the movements of the banks and the institutions around that time. So that'd be the best thing for that. So number 3, how to understand overall market sentiment, pretty much how to understand the trend of the market. Okay, cool. So when you're looking at like a chart, right? You see how the market just goes up and down, up and down, up and down, right? Or down and up, down and up, down and up, right? So when the market is going up and then down and up and then down, that's pretty much a seller's market, right? Within that, you're looking for the market to make a high and then a low and then a lower high and then a low and then a lower high and then a low. So pretty much what that would look like is this right here. Let's share the screen and boom. Okay, so when it comes to identifying the trend within a market, just knowing how to read the candlestick formations and understanding that like whenever price makes a low like this, it usually retrace to a certain point, and get back to a certain level within the market due to previous data. So this would be considered the low. You could have this, this would be your lower high. I mean, sorry, your higher high, and then your higher low, your higher high, a higher low, a higher high, a higher low, a higher high, and a higher low, right? So what that is just simply like price is closing higher each time, which is creating the uptrend, right? Now, when it comes to a downtrend, right? This was a high, this was a low, this was a lower low, this was a lower high and a lower low, a lower high, a lower low, and a lower high, right? Which means that price was just selling and continuing to close lower than the previous low, right? You see how it got here, continued up, got here, continued up, then got here, continued up. So you can see how price follows in the trend, and that would be considered the seller's trend. Are there any recent news or events that affect the currency pair? Yeah, so actually all the time there's actually like news being related to like unemployment, things like when the country's actually trying to combat inflation, when they raise interest rates on the banks and certain things like that. Gross domestic products, like, you know, the Federal Reserve has a big part into like, of course, our currency's like value. So pretty much like whenever they have meetings, there's things going on and being said, like those could fluctuate or strengthen or weaken the currency for the good or for the better. And that happens all over the globe. What is a mindset or psychology one must have before entering Forex? Honestly, I say, guys, just recognizing losses do occur, and recognizing it early, being okay with a loss. Like I'd say like this, like once you really fund an account and have like your real capital in there, like consider that money already like gone, right? Just because of the fact that like it could go in either direction, you know what I'm saying? Like losses happen regardless in life. So just being able to combat that with a sense of determination and knowing that, like, okay, if this is something that you actually want to pursue, like, just gotta have a strong will to like keep with it. Like, trust me, like I've been through a blown account. I've blown accounts before, like, and doubled accounts before as well. So it's like I understand what it takes. Like I understand like the emotion behind losses. So really just being able to like sit through that and continue to learn, like that's what's going to set you apart from, those that give up or not. So also with that as well, I'd say that like being able to be your own self-critic, like to continuously self-analyze yourself and your mistakes within the trading, whatever it is in life, I'm saying, just being able to like continuously like analyze yourself to find errors and things that you need to be better on. It's going to improve. Like I'd say to be transparent with you, like at least myself, like I'm not a very patient person, and that's one thing I had to work on. um so it comes with even like my trading. Like sometimes I'll miss opportunities being too patient, or like not being patient enough, or then I'll even like be getting in like in bad opportunities because I wasn't patient enough. So just having a balance between yourself and your ego is going to be like vital to sticking through this skill. What chart patterns do I look for? So if you see my video, mainly double top, double bottom patterns. I like to look for like evening stars, morning star patterns. I like I like to look for like pretty much like I'm a price action type of guy. Like I like to be able to read the candlestick psychology and simply use that. I'm not much of a fan for indicators. I've used indicators before, and sometimes I ain't gonna lie. Like there's a chart, like I have multiple charts for like just being able to identify certain things because like my eye can read it differently within the colors and stuff. But I don't really like to resort to them. I like to be able to use them as far as a confluence to like give me a stronger bias towards a direction. But as far as like chart patterns, I'm more just like price action and like a clear double bottom, clear double top, and then like just psychology work. What time frame do I use to trade? So I say, okay, if I'm like having coaching calls, I'll do scalping. So I'll do like intraday trading to scalping, depending on that person's schedule as well. I usually use like the hour time frame and lower, which will be going to the 30-minute, the 15-minute, the 5, and then the 1. Sometimes even the 20 minutes, depending on where it is that I'm like analyzing from. But if it comes to like placing trades for myself, I like to swing. I like to be able to hold some entries. Um, I've actually gotten a lot more confident with those. So with that, when it comes to swinging, I'm using the weekly time frame first, and I'm doing my top-down analysis every time. I'm going from the weekly to the daily to my 4-hour, and then I might go right back to the 12-hour just to catch some like hidden moves or not, or moves that have like already happened. But like I'm going into my 4-hour then to like then finding my entries. So really between the 4-hour and the weekly is when I'm really trying to like analyze as far as the overall picture, and then I'll place an entry between the 1-hour and the 4-hour, and then just hold it out for however many pips. Um, how do I find support and resistance? Okay, so pretty much like when I showed y'all earlier, looking at price action and understanding how once price makes a new low, price is going to retest that past area of support, right? So if we're looking at a sell, once price closes below a previous area of support and then comes back up to retest that area of support, we're looking for another opportunity to get in on the sell, since that new area of support that has been retested has become resistance now, right? And I'm gonna just show you that with the chart just so I can better explain it. Okay, so right here, right? If we're looking at the Euro USD, price had already capped out and made an area of resistance right here. Price resisted right here, right? It finally sold and came back up to try to retest that area of resistance, but it didn't get that far, right? So once price sold below here, this was now area. Well, when price sold here, this is now area of support. It came back up, but it didn't resist that well enough. So then it sold through, right? Once price sold through that past area of support, this has now become a resistance area, right? And then of course, since it's 15 minutes time frames, you just break it down backwards to actually like figure out where price actually closed. So if we're looking at the 5-minute, right, you can see how price closed below here. So now this is past area of support. It broke through. Now this is resistance, right? So price sold to make a new area of support. And then it came back up to try to test that resistance, but it didn't. It capped out here. So boom, that's resistance now. Now price is sold again and made a newfound area of support. It's going to try to come back up to test this resistance. Whatever it does from here, right, is when I'll be looking to make the next entry, whether price continues down or breaks past and goes up. So if we're looking at it from a buy position, price, okay, just say we're here. Price has found a new area of support. It bought all the way up to test its previous area of resistance. It tried to come down to test the area of support, but it didn't. It capped out here, made a newfound area of support. It bought back up, broke past that previous area of resistance, right? Capped out there, came back down to retest that past area of support. Boom, newfound support. So now price came up and make a new resistance, right? So really being able to identify that that and just knowing candlestick psychology is what's going to help, because once you see certain moves like this, like the evening star, you know that prices will likely continue up and buy. So it's just all about being patient and placing great entries. What indicators do I use? Okay, wow. So yeah, I pretty much just said that. I'm not really a fan of indicators. I'll show y'all, matter of fact, like the few indicators I do use, but that's rare. Like if I'm having like a improper week where I'm just not able to analyze things as properly, I'll probably get an indicator on my chart. But like I said, I'm more of a price action guy. I like to really read candlestick psychology. I think I'm getting really much better at that and being able to like anticipate moves from there, because like candlestick psychology is like really everything, right? Like the price action of certain moves, like knowing, yeah, like I'm gonna show you here. I'm gonna just show you right here. So here we go. Like I just use this chart here to show support and resistance, but I'm gonna clean that up real quick. Remove drawings. Let's say, okay, I like to use an EMA sometimes. I'll use 2 EMAs. I'll usually use like a 7 and a 14. And I pretty much like to look for crossovers, right? Like whenever price like crosses, or whenever we get a crossover on EMAs, I'll look for clear sales, crossover on EMA, clear buys, so on and so forth. But even then, it can be real confusing when you're getting in, just because of like if you're not able to understand candlestick psychology. And I think that like maybe before, when I was like, okay, so when I first started trading, I was able to use indicators because I wasn't able to understand candlestick psychology that well. But then once I started understand candlestick psychology, like the indicators would just be in my damn way. And it's kind of like much better. It just shows your understanding of the skill set when you're able to not use indicators. So I'm taking pride in that, because this takes a lot of work, being able to confidently like sit here and read these charts and be able to say like, okay, I'm expecting this candlestick pattern to form. And if it doesn't, what I'm saying, making decisions from there. But understanding candlestick psychology really would be your best bet. Like being able to read why price has moved the way it's moved and what these wicks are doing and telling you. So yeah, it looks like a bunch of lines and rectangles, but like trust me, it's telling a story, seriously. So and again, this is new. Like news happens like within these fuller candles and stuff. news is moving that stuff. So it's important to know those that. So what are some of the huge risks that I wouldn't see in just trading stocks? Okay, so when it comes to like the risk that you wouldn't see in just trading stocks, like if someone was trading stocks and decided to like come into the foreign exchange, like when I talk to people that have traded stocks or even like other things, like sometimes people can tend to forget that like you can within the foreign exchange, like you can profit off of the sell, right? You can profit off of like the the weakness of the other country. So pretty much what that means is like when you're looking at stock charts, you're only looking for like the value of that stock, right? Rather than when you're trading like currencies, you're trading one currency against another. So if one currency is doing bad, the other currency is doing good, pretty much, right? So that's why you have the red candles, and you can place sales on those opportunities to get profit for that other currency. You're pretty much comparing currency to currency rather than a stock chart. You're only looking for that stock. So if a price goes down on a stock, you're just out of profit rather than like you're able to profit on that currency doing bad, right? So I hope that makes sense. Like you can learn that all in the group chat and everything too, but like definitely like it's a comparison on countries' currencies. So you're not really just looking for one bias. Like as far as like you when you're buying stock, you're buying low and selling high, right? Doing the same thing as support and resistance, but it's like you're only looking to buy, whereas you gotta sell your stock to get the value, if that makes sense. So um yeah, guys, leave comments under this video too. And make sure you subscribe for sure. Like, I want to put out more content. I need help with being able to understand what it is that people really look for to understand this, or even just go about investing into like stocks or foreign exchange, whatever the case may be. So, I'm here to learn more, and so are y'all. So let's help each other out. What role do important dates play on charts, and how much should they be accounted for? It's very important, bro. They can either make or break a trade. Like there's other things involved before placing a trade, but like important dates like FOMC meetings, like I said, like those unemployment dates. Like there's a non-farm unemployment like on the first Friday of every month, like things like that. Like understanding those days and knowing that like you have to be careful around that time as well on placing trades. Like it could make or break a trade, right? Like for me, like how I'd break it down is like trading is pretty much like 30% technical analysis, that's understanding how to read candles, another 30% of fundamental, knowing how to like move whenever news comes out, another 30% towards risk management, uh like being able to know how much the risk per trade, and then 10% of just execution. Like if you can get those other three, now it's just a matter of like, okay, how will I execute? Am I going to execute emotionally, or am I executing with like proper structure and discipline? So yeah, man, like important dates going either make or break a trade, because part of your trading plan can either be with trade with news or not trade with news. So just learning like how those important dates play out for you and your sense of structure to this trading skill set is what's going to make or break a trading play. So, what should be the first step to learning charting? And coming from someone with zero knowledge, what would be the most effective and time consuming way to learn analysis? Man, if you click that link in my bio, that motherfucker would be a blessing. But no, I'm just saying, I'm just playing. But honestly, I'd say like hit YouTube, bro. Um, Here, reach out to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I want to be able to help as well. But and this is on YouTube, but like, you know, I have my Instagram, I have my website. So reach out to me. But I say honestly, like YouTube, identifying your schedule um as well, like identifying first and foremost what time will you be able to like actually even spend a good hour or two for studying, and then like practicing what you're studying, right? Because once you learn that, then you can go into learning like, okay, these are the pairs that move within that time, and then you can go into pretty much learning how those pairs move within that time and execute properly. So I say knowing how to read a candlestick, knowing how to read like fundamental analysis news, knowing how to anticipate all that stuff is going to be important. But first and foremost, like go to YouTube, go to little, just watch shorts, watch videos, whatever you need to like understand how to read a candlestick. I plan on putting out more content for that as well. So stay tuned, stay subscribed, and you're gonna see more of that as well from me. But definitely like hit YouTube, get some of the free content that's already out here, and invest in your education, bro. Like seriously, like I'm trying to get there as well. I'm actually wanting to like invest in this guy that actually knows fundamental analysis really well. Like, so I'm still a student of the game. There are things that I need to understand better, but it just comes with time and like understanding of that, bro, and understanding yourself and what you lack and struggle with within the skill set. So yeah, hope that helps. What is the best strategy? Bro, there is no best strategy. Shit. You are the best strategy, right? Like you're going to be vital to your own success. Like however much effort you put in, that's what you're going to get out. So like there's multiple different like strategies and like chart work all over YouTube, honestly. Like, and there's people profitable in different ways based on however they trade, however they see the market. Everybody will see the market differently. So and respond to it differently as well. So like yes, there's correct analysis, but like as far as the strategy goes, bro, there's no perfect strategy. Like I feel like you will make the best out of it for yourself. Like you have to, because like, you know, depending on your type of movements in the market, of course, starting off, like depending on your level and how much capital you have to be able to know how to risk and whatever. But like there is no set strategy as far as no perfect indicators. There's no like, I'd say just actually knowing how to read charts is going to be the best. But as far as understanding yourself first and what type of trader you're going to be, that's going to help you become, that's going to help you like make your best strategy, if that makes sense. Like, I can't tell you, like, although like I can show you how I trade, I can't make you trade how I trade. I can only show you the basics, and then learn how I apply multiple different basics to make my executions. But there's other multiple, like there's other basics to apply to like different like tools and everything. So using the tools, using the tools on TradingView, and like really just actually like studying that shit, like that's what's going to be the best like to grow in this field. When I'm looking to place a swing trade, what time should I most pay attention? What should I pay most attention to? The higher time frames, definitely. Higher time frames to be used for analysis. The 1 to 4 hour for the entries, of course, but I show people how I do my top down analysis. Um, I go through those live every Sunday. So I start from the weekly. Hell, like depending on where price is at, if it's at the top or the bottom of a range, like if there's some sort of consolidation going on, like I try to like use that monthly time frame as well. But as far as breaking it down, I usually start from the weekly to see how the previous week closed, and then go from like my daily time frame to my 12 hour. Then I'll hit the 4 hour, and go back and forth between my 4 and my 12 hour. Like those help me make like some solid decisions. And then I'm looking at the 1 to 4 hour time frames to make executions on a swing trade specifically. So back and forth between my 4 and my 12 hour, like those help me make like some solid decisions. And then I'm looking at the 1 to 4 hour time frames to make executions on a swing trade specifically. So, what are my favorite pairs? Woo, Euro USD, USD JPY, GBP USD. Um, I'm getting into the Australian dollar against the United States dollar. Um, I've traded United States to the Canadian dollar before. I'm not too much of a fan of that, but pretty much most pairs that like I typically like to trade with or against the dollar, just because that is our home currency and it's easier to calculate price on that. Um, I'm actually learning how to trade the euro, Japanese yen, Great Britain pound to the Japanese yen as well. I'm I'm a night owl, but I can get up early depending on like what type of setups I have or even specific news that's coming out. So when I'm trading in a Tokyo session, like I usually like to trade with the Tokyo session as well, as far as the yen goes, trading currencies that pair with the yen. Um, so that's pretty much the type of like those are my favorite pairs. Um, but I'm also tapping back into gold. When I first started trading, I was trading gold too, but I'm about to get back into gold. I'm about to get back into gold. I took a trade on oil the other day too. That looks like it may be something that I could get into. So, but yeah, pretty much the Euro USD, anything with the dollar, anything with the yen. Uh, yeah. So another question I have here, what is the correlation between currency pairs and how do I find the best currency pairs? So again, understanding the time frame that you're going to trade in, um, and another thing is pretty much like trying to get a better like there's something that's part of the fundamental analysis that I'm trying to work on and understand, but trading current countries that have good relations, right? Um, like the euro and the dollar, Great Britain pound, like Great Britain and United States, like Great Britain has the largest bank in the world, right? So of course our strong currency is going to be banking with that like have money in that bank, right? But like whatever countries really do a lot of trading besides like physical like trading, but like um, you know, merchandise, like products, like countries that do a lot of like work between each other pretty much like that's what's going to be able to help you find like good currency pairs. I mean there's pretty much a pair for every country, but like yeah, definitely like sticking to the main ones that are like volatile and like that trade within a certain schedule set for yourself. How do I set stop losses and take profit levels for my trades? So you have to set those pretty much at good key levels that you identify according to your trading plan as well. And what I mean by your trading plan, like I'd say like understanding your risk management rules as far as how many pips you can risk to how many pips you're looking to get. Um, that's how you would set your stop loss and take profit as well, right? But then that has to also fit within like prior market structure, right? It has to make sense as far as like previous areas of resistance, right? You probably want to set your stop if you're looking for a sell, right? If you want to get a good sell, setting your stop loss a little bit past a previous area of resistance or right at that area of resistance, right? Like that's going to be key because like price could come back up and come back down. But if you're looking for a sell, that high point that price has already sold past is where you're going to set your stop loss just in case if it does come back up, you get stopped out if you're looking for a sell. Now, if you're looking for a buy, a stop loss should be set no low, not too much lower than the past area of support so that you can like make sure you don't get wicked out. And then as far as like your take profit, you just look at what price has done in the past to make sure that it makes sense. You know, a stop loss and take profit should never be random. A stop loss and take profit should never be random. All right. I'm gonna say that again. A stop loss and a take profit should never be random. It has to correlate with past market data. All right. What is your risk to reward? So I typically like to set up, it just depends on the session and like how I'm trading, right? If I'm doing a scalp or if I'm doing any type of intraday trading, I'm usually looking to get like 10 to 20 pips, right? I usually like to risk like a 1-to-1 or a 2-to-1, which means like for me, I usually stick to like a 2-to-1 take, like a 20 pip take profit and like a 10 pip stop loss, or even like just even a 10 pip stop loss to a 10 pip take profit. Like I try to keep it short depending on the time frame and like whatever setups I get. But if I'm swinging, I usually try to get like 50 pips risk. I'm looking to risk 25 pips to get 50 pips. That's still a 2-to-1, or even like looking to risk 20 pips to get 40 pips, right? So just depending on what works for you, how much you're willing to risk. That's pretty much how you're going to be able to find that. Um, how to understand if price is ranging or consolidating or trending. So when it comes to that, I'm gonna just show you my chart here. Let's see. So, okay, if we're looking at this again, right? Price right here is trending, right? This is a trending market where price is consistently making, look, a low and then a high and then a lower high. I mean, a higher low and then a high, a higher low, a high, a higher low, a high, a higher low, right? That'd be considered a trending market where it's following trend. Now, if we're looking at a consolidating market, right, where the market is just going sideways, where it's not really consistently making higher highs or higher lows, um, or lower lows and lower highs, this is what I'll be considering a consolidating market. If I can put a box around it and price has not broken out of this box, like you see how price is just consistently bouncing up in here, like until price broke through and then came down and followed structure properly, this would be considered consolidation for me. Whereas there's so much indecision between prices, between the buyers and the sellers, that it's not best to trade right there. So that's considered consolidation market for me. Um, Same thing like a ranging market, ranging consolidating market, pretty much the same thing. Like price is not breaking out of this range here. And although like these are on the higher time frames, you can make moves on smaller time frames. But if it's moving like that on a higher time frame, it's more than likely dangerous to try to trade that on a smaller time frame, right? Since there's just so much indecision, it's like you could get wicked out on certain trades. Like, so it's just best to like really do your top down analysis first and foremost to really get an understanding of like if price is consolidating, if price is ranging or not, like if it's creating trends, like even like here, um, price had like ranged right here. It wasn't until price finally broke out on this sale and retested here that price starts to go back in some type of trend, but that's even a 4 hour, right? Um, but yeah, like, and again, depending on your style of trading, like you may be able to comfortably trade within that stuff just based off like simple support and resistance, right? After they made that, just try to get back a sell back all the way down here, so on and so forth. So like when it trades, when price is in a consolidating and ranging market, like you can trade it. Like, of course, there's trading going on, but you have to just be careful. And me, me specifically, I don't like to trade. I don't like to trade within ranging markets just because like um some type of news has affected that to make the price even get like that to confuse the other investors in the world. So I try to stay out of it. I try to be able to trade confidently and unconfused when other people are trading confidently and unconfused, right? So um yeah, let's see, you got about 2 more questions. Okay, so I got another question. Okay, so next question is, what do the moving averages indicate? Is it trend direction or what? So yeah, so pretty much like moving averages indicate depending on how you set it. I have it set to the close of certain candles. But that differs by the time frame as well. I'm not gonna get too much into that just because it's like it can be hard to understand. Even myself, like, I'm having a hard time as far as reading where the candlestick closes on the moving average, but it's an indicator to help you see trend. It's an indicator to help you see like overall the strength of the direction of that trend, right? So if we're looking at the 1 hour, right? Price has been buying up right here, right? Clearly going in an uptrend. So once I seen price make this crossover here, the first one, and it retested here, and even then it was in a ranging market. So let's get back to a point where time was like trending healthy. So if we're looking at this 4 hour, right? Price crossed over here and continued down in the seller's market. But you see the distance between the two here. This is showing that the seller's strength is stronger than any buyer's momentum, right? Same thing over here. If we're looking here, this is a buying trend, right? This is where bulls are in the market. So once price crossed over here, this is when the crossover happened and the reversal in the market. But the distance between the two moving averages shows that there's more buyer strength than there is sellers. So yeah, like they pretty much just help you understand the strength of the trend. But like again, this is a 4 hour time frame. It's just it can be confusing because once you see like here, you see a crossover here, but price wasn't ready to actually like really ready to buy up from much. Like it came back up to retest the like that past area of resistance, but I wouldn't have been looking for buys here just because it's simply like this is it. The seller strength was already here. I'm looking for selling opportunities, right? This would be simply a retracement or a counter trend trade, right? But that's another topic of discussion. So yeah, the moving averages pretty much just show like how to read the strength um of a currency at the time. So and last but not least, question 21. What is a volume or trading activity like? I say pretty much like the sessions with the most volume is going to be your New York session, your London session, sometimes the Sydney session, right? Um, but volume can come at any time. There's depending on whatever news is coming out. Like the Tokyo session is known to be the slowest session, of course, but hell, there could be news. There could be the Bank of Japan releasing news or statements that could cause a lot of volume for the yen around that time. But I'd say the New York, the London session, um, and a little bit of the Sydney session if you can catch some pips. But New York and London session are going to be the two most volatile pairs or the two most volatile sessions where a lot of money is being moved. All right. All right, guys. I hope that helps a lot. I know this video wasn't too interesting. I just needed to get something done as well. And I had actually asked some people to like, what it is that they need help on, whether between my group and some other groups and other individuals that, look to like trade as well. But this is 21 questions with Tyron Jackson. Guys, please reach out, leave a like, comment, subscribe. And again, I hope to see y'all back here at the channel. We're gonna make this thing happen, man. So keep it up the good work.